I'm going to quickly show you how we can take our end result logo and create a home page icon for mobile devices. Now here we just cut out the area that we're going to want, and this area here obviously is blocked by some text that's left over. Now what we can do with that is simply just put a box over top of that color, which we pick right out of there, and we can put a box there and one there. Now this box here we can expand because I've missed a little sliver of it. Now we're going to want size. It needs to be boxed because the iPhone and Apple, they put the rounding and they also put the reflection on it. So keeping it like that, we're just simply going to want this image to be 120 by 120 because I do believe those are the settings for it. And what we can do, first of all, is just by taking the crop tool, let's resize our complete image down. Remember, it's a vector, so sizing down makes absolutely no difference. We could just leave it at, if it maintains its proportion, we at least want it to be over 300, so 300. Okay, perfect. No worries there. Take our cropping tool, make that 120 by 120, enter it. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to resize this image down a little more. Make it 200 by 180, 190. I still have that there. Bringing it over to the edge of our design, click, click, save. Okay, and there you go. We have a 120 by 120. Copy that, bring it over here, paste it down. Right? Now these are resized a little different. I resized it to fit so you could see what I'm doing, but you get the idea. And if I resize that down, and then I think at the end of this video, I'm just going to make it look like the rest of these. So check back at the end of this section. Now we grab the line tool, and we're just going to run a spine down there. We can even keep that spine separated. As you see, I've broken it apart. And I was thinking maybe this and like that and like that. This may be too busy and especially zoomed out. So that might not work for us. But that's the idea I wanted to give. Because there's like thousands of those. We're not going to do like 1,000 on each branch. That's not going to work. But we can come up with different methods and maybe pick one or mix them. Now, as you can see, I've completely removed everything I did to those leaves. And I'm going to keep it that way and keep it in the video simply because it's a perfect example of using the creative process to get what you need and what you want. I had an idea and I followed through with it to see if I could get a look I wanted, and I actually tried 3 different looks, and all 3 of them just really didn't do it, because in the end I decided if I do anything to these leaves, it's going to be way too busy, because there are other things I want to do with shadows that would coincide with what I've got going on. So I've taken those out, and we're just going to leave the leaves exactly how they are now. This third one we're going to try shading. Now this is where we can get rid of the stroke and make the fill black. And then I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to go in to my points and keep everything within the spine. And I could even be making these sharper. Oh, there we go with the, maybe I should have done an outline first. But it's all good. That's what I wanted to accomplish. I just need to close that up. Opacity. This is what's going to make it transparent for us. So transparent that if I go back out to a 100% aspect ratio, it will look the way I want. And I want it really light. We can start there and zoom back out. And there we can see it. Which now I already know in comparison to what we did before, although that was a valiant effort, that's not going to fly. So we're going to definitely box that out and get rid of it, because that didn't work. Whoa. The lines weren't working for us. Let's just take this. So that's a keeper. We've got a lot of lines to contend with there to get rid of. That's okay. I can do that now. Box that out. Exit. Put that back in place. And now we know we're going to work with this. And I'm going to bring that opacity down even more. It's at 26%. Let's give it 18. Stick that back on its tree. Oh yeah, that's what we're going for. And yeah, I want to turn that up a bit. Back to where it is. Because it's popping. It's what I like. Maybe turn it up even a little more. So I said 18. I'm just even going to run it at a 30. And now I'm getting carried away. Now I'm going to put it up to 40. And just leave it for a second. And see how that goes. That's looking good. So all this stuff hanging off the artboard and everything, you don't have to worry about that. In fact, you know, we really don't even need an artboard. It just gives us something with a background that we can design on. What we are going to focus on right now is this ground area. And here we have my representation of sand. This I have a representation of a shadow cast by the sun coming on this side. And the idea I want to go with for this is I want to take out this brown part, and then I want to copy and paste and use opacity as a shadow to put down onto the ground, so that shadow is the same shape as the leaves. And all in favor of trying that, say aye. Aye! Okay, so what I've done here is I've taken all the objects and I've isolated all their base objects. So as you can see, there's the trunk. We have all the elements here. There's the coconuts. There's that leaf. And there's these. So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble these on here because we've taken a complete new approach towards this. I've gotten rid of that colorization on the ground, and we're going to use this as a shadow that will be reflecting down onto the sand and probably onto the text of the logo also. I will now show you how to put all these together, and then we're going to group them all, turn them into a shadow, and put some opacity on it. And then I think we're going to be stretching it all the way across to the right. Now I know I said that the sun was going to be coming down from the right and the shadows would be cast to the left, but I think I'm going to be taking a different approach, and we will know soon enough. And if that's the case, then obviously I have to redo the tree trunk and put that light on the other side of it. We'll see how this goes first. And if I want to get it as close as possible, it really doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about it, because all we're doing is just taking it like so. And then we have all the other layers locked, and we have all these layers isolated, so we can box them out, and then we can group them. Oops. Okay. And then once grouped, we talked about the opacity. So let's just zoom out. To there. And this is going to be our shadow. So let's zoom way out, and I'm going to try to explain my theory on how I want to try to set this up. Now you can see that we have everything over on this side of the stage, and I think my idea was to take everything over here, get rid of the shadow for now, and put in the text here. I'm going to call it something along the lines of Tropical Vacations Inc. or something, and then have this shadow reflect over top of the text. At least that's the idea, and we'll see if we can make it work. Okay, now with this, we're going to have to reverse this or get that over onto the other side. We're going to delete it and we're going to rebuild it. And now we know the tree of the trunk and everything else. Lock all that up, create a new layer, because right now you can't go in with the pen tool into that trunk and touch it without actually sticking to another anchor. So it needs to be on its own layer. Then that way we're not going to have to worry about it doing things we don't want it to be doing, like filling in weird areas and colors. But that's good. We can pick out a sand color, or not a sand color, but the color we had. That's pretty good right there. Now that we're back in there, we can unlock everything. And let's select these lines. Let's cut these lines. And then let's lock these layers, and let's go put this on another layer by itself. And the reason, we'll undo. And the reason we're doing that is we want to isolate the layers because we have a lot of things going on, and we don't want things to pick each other here. We'll go tree line. Okay. Organization of things, especially like layers, are fairly important because you can get lost really quick. And that's what we're going to need to start doing, is organizing our layers just so we don't get lost. I'm pretty good at this, but I don't want anybody else to get lost. But that is called tree line, and it's up there. We want those in front. Now I'm really liking that. Okay, we're going to zoom out. We need to get busy. And a lot of planning and stuff goes into all of this. And a lot of thinking, and we are kind of going by the seat of our pants here and taking it as it comes. Yes, I am making this up as we go, but the end result is going to be very nice. This is going to represent our shadow. And now we have to figure out what we're going to do with our shadow. So I think we're going to start by just mirroring it, because the sun is going to be coming from the left now. So if we mirror it like that, and if we drag it like so, that is a start. Now we align it there for now, and we'll bring the opacity way, way down. And nothing is final here. We're just going to keep it there for now. And within the layers panel, I'm going to close that up. I'm going to call that shadow. And we're going to drag it behind the tree. And then just put it there. We're going to take a little time here to arrange our layers panel. It is by far the most important thing in any graphic design software, your layers. When we get this extensive into design, we want to arrange it. And we're going to do that now because we're going to get really lost with all the elements that we have if we don't. Let's start by taking our leaves, locking them and hiding them. And it's these lines that we want to focus on. We want to take all of them, and we want to cut them out. That's the shadow, that's the tree lines, but we want that out, and we want to add a new layer. Bring it up. We call that tree lines. And then we're just going to paste that back in place. And we're going to lock it. We're going to start locking up these layers and hiding them. You can see over here we have some, we have a confrontation going on with a line that's not supposed to be there. Let's see what it is. It's not that. Let's lock it. It's our tree lines, we know. Okay, unlock that. Click on our tree line. And from there, we can cut it out. Give it a new tree line. We don't even need that tree line, actually. Lock that up. Stick tree lines under the leaves. Unlock that, sorry. Let's stick that right under the leaves. Lock it back up. Lock up your leaves. Fold up your leaves. Call that leaves. And the only reason I'm taking you through this whole process is because it's really important. I can't stress enough that our layers, along with our folders that we're saving everything in, file management, that's extremely important. Well, as you can see here, I've just taken our logo, made it into a home page icon for a mobile device, and simply by resizing, cropping, and I added all this and the roundness, masked it out, just put a little text down there. Kind of gives you an idea of what you can do with the designs we have. And these things are kind of good, of course, if people are going to your website or whatever else.